Hey everyone, we recently completed our first quarter update of commercial real estate fundamentals, and this week I'm going to focus on what's happening with office performance. So while a slowdown in office using job creation over the last few years would suggest slackening space demand, that pressure has been more than offset by a strengthening return to office trend. Now, while remote work and hybrid schedules are likely here to stay, we've seen a slow but steady rise in office attendance. As of the most recent reading in March, the trailing 12-month average office attendance now stands just 31% below the pre-pandemic norm. That's about a 5% improvement compared to last year. Metros that have seen the biggest gains in office visits over the last year include Los Angeles, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Miami. And the return to office trend has supported steady gains in office space demand. The sector has delivered 8 consecutive quarters of positive space absorption, generating a 2-year total of 176 million square feet. That puts the annual pace of demand on par with the 10-year average of space absorption from 2010 to 2019. So while many investors left the office sector for dead following the pandemic, there are still signs of life. Nationally, the average vacancy rate has retreated from its peak of 17.3% set in 2024 to 16.1% as of the first quarter this year. The markets with the strongest demand momentum include San Francisco, San Jose, Austin, Charlotte, and New York. The metros with the lowest office vacancy rate include the Inland Empire, Miami, Kansas City, West Palm Beach, and Las Vegas. But when you look at the types of properties that are generating the most demand, it's the Class A assets. Although Class A office properties only constitute about 40% of the total inventory, they've captured 71% of the demand over the last 2 years. So there's still an enormous division between the best performing assets and the weakest. Newer properties built in the 2010s have an average vacancy rate of just 8%, compared to the 18% vacancy of 1980s vintage properties. And smaller office properties under 250,000 square feet have a vacancy rate of 12.9%, compared to larger properties which have a vacancy rate of 17.3%. So while office space demand has been improving, the sector is still a long ways from a full recovery. Another positive trend looking forward is the limited construction. Office completions were near a record low in 2025, and the pipeline for 2026 is even thinner. In addition, numerous office properties across the country are being repurposed into other uses, making supply risk virtually non-existent. Looking at the transactional velocity, the number of office deals in the last 12 months is nearly on par with the record levels of 2021 and 22. A lot of those sales have been distressed assets that traded well below peak pricing, sometimes on a price per pound basis. But that basis reset will enable the new owners to lease space at a much lower rate than was previously possible. Now, while the office performance outlook is cautiously optimistic, investors in other property types should also be paying attention. The metros experiencing an office demand revival will generate positive ripple effects for other property types in the surrounding area. As the return to office trend continues to build momentum, it will positively affect housing, retail, self-storage, hotels, and other properties that are proximate to recovering office areas, including the urban core. And again, while it's unlikely we'll return to the pre-pandemic norm of having the whole team in the office 5 days a week, we're definitely seeing a shift in momentum that suggests more people will be working in the office more often. That momentum shift, which will likely play out over the next several years, is a trend that every commercial real estate investor should be considering as they keep their eyes on the horizon.